It's Elisa, and today I wanted to show you some of the different things that I've been working with lately, and I'm really enjoying this plastic, I guess you would call it a stamp, and let me show you one of the things I made with it. It's an embossing stamp, so when you press into the clay, it creates like a raised kind of embossed look, and it's a really cool look. And you can get different, textures with it. This one here is a big, thick piece, obviously. Whereas this piece here is just a thin piece that I've actually added the Tim Holtz Distress Crackle paint to it in the Rock Candy Clear. So I was actually going to show you that first. I was thinking what I'd do is use a little of these blue pigment. Hopefully that'll show up well. These are pan pastels. You see me use them before, probably. And basically, they're pigments in a pan. Hence the name pan pastels. So what I've done is I used a cookie cutter, and I rolled a flat sheet out, and then I cut out my moon shape with this cookie cutter. And then I painted on the crackle medium, just on these raised embossed sections. I added these little crystals in between all the little sections, which is basically right here in between all of the different, grids on the stamp. And now I'm going to come back and paint the pan pastel into the crackle. And see if that shows up well on camera. It looks like it is. And then you get a completely different look when you add it into the cracks. Right now I'm just painting it on, but I'm going to wipe some of it off because I really just want it in the crackles spots. And a little goes a long way in with the pan pastels. So you don't have to use a ton, you don't have to really saturate a brush. Now you can do this with ink, you could do it with paint, whatever you wanted, and to get the look you want. So let me just kind of rub a little off the top. But it looks really super cool. So all I did was stamp it with the embossing stamp, paint a little of the crackle medium on to these little sections, and inserted crystals in between. And you get a really cool look. I'll take a picture of that so you can see it up closer. But that's one of the things you can do with it. And then this piece here, I just took a ball of clay. And, you can make whatever size you want. I was thinking that it would be really cool as like a middle of a flower. So that's where I was going with this piece, I just haven't gotten anywhere yet. I used these calyx flowers as my base and put the round ball in and wrapped that with the calyx flowers. So that was a cool look, but I don't know where I'm going with this yet, but I kind of just wanted to show you how cool this tufted look was, embossed tufted look. So to get that look, you need a thicker piece, obviously. So I made a round ball, and now I have a thicker piece. So it doesn't have to be quite this thick, but it all depends on what you're making, what project you're making. And I'm just going to choose a section here, and I'm just going to press down into the clay. Give it a little wiggle, If you want, you could pick it up and kind of push it in there, but it works really well. And that's how easy it is to get this tufted look. And then you have these little recessed sections, which is actually, the design is actually a little butterfly, which is kind of hard to pick up on camera. I don't know if you can see that or not. But at this point, you could add pan pastels, which is what I did to this one. You could add ink, and I think I told you that I like to start with a lighter color when I'm working with black on a previous video. So I kind of create my base color with the lighter color. It kind of just, it gives you that, kind of I don't know if you've worked with mixed media projects and you've used gesso. Gesso kind of is like that base for starting a project, and it gives it a little tooth. This isn't giving a tooth, but what it is doing is it's kind of toning down the black so that you can add other colors to it and they show better. So one of the reasons why I really like these pan pastels is because it's matte. It's a matte finish. And with, you know, a lot of projects, you don't really want that shiny finish. And that's why I like to use the pan pastels often, because you can get a really nice look without having that matte finish. And some projects, like if you're working on a flower or whatever, you may not want it to be, you know, so shiny. You know, if you're going for something that's like blingy, ooh, that was my fingernail. But if you're going for like a blingy piece, then you don't mind a little shine, but that's not what I'm looking for. You know, I'm going more for like an earthy, kind of rustic look. And so that's why I really like these pan pastels. But you can certainly use anything you want. It doesn't have to be pan pastels. I just have, you know, took a liking to them and really enjoy working with them. So, you know, you can mix and match colors. You can do whatever you want. I think I came and added a little bronze to this one, to this piece right here, to like highlight just different sections. I'm not going for that overall look, and you can, you know, if you're not getting the look you want, you can come back and add more colors. That's the beauty of it. You're not set in stone. So there you have that. Actually, let's see what this, I did this in the blue, but let's add a little of this pan pastel copper, because I bet you that'll make it really cool too. Just kind of randomly. Yeah, I like that. Give it a totally different look. So there you have that. Super easy, super fun, and really there's a lot of possibilities just with this one stamp that you could do. So I wanted to show you, we've been getting in Punchinella. And for those of you that have no idea what the heck Punchinella is, let me just show you a piece here. This is a piece of Punchinella in like a fan flower shape type of thing. Let me move these out of the way. And basically Punchinella, let me clean this too, is sequin waste. So if you have, you know, if you have seen a dress or whatever that has sequins, it's punched out of a piece of mylar. And this is what you get left over after it's been punched out. And here's a couple of them. We have a bunch of new designs that we've been adding. This is the oval shape here. This is the fan flower. This is a pear shape. I've got this square one, which is really pretty. And, you know, in the mixed media world, they use them a lot to like add to pictures and things like that. But with polymer clay, they're awesome for stencils. That's the frilled flower design. I mean, we have a lot of them. They're sold in sets of 4, so you get 4 different designs that you can play with. And I'm going to show you what some of them look like here. This is the leaf. There's a beautiful butterfly. And then we have the Punchinella set number 1 has one of these flowers, these 5-petal flowers, but these are much smaller. I showed you on a previous show these larger petaled flowers, so you can see what a difference in size they are. These are much smaller, and this comes from the Punchinella set number 1. And this is in one of the new ones. So let me show you what some of them look like on the black clay so you get an idea. Because I really think they're cool. And so many possibilities with these. So let's start. I rolled out a sheet of clay. Depending on what your project is, what you're working on that day, you want to, you know, just roll it out to the size you want. I think I rolled this out on a number 4 setting, which is very thin. Because I'm not using it for a project, I'm just using it to show you guys what it looks like. So I'm going to roll my rod over it. So that helps me get an embossed look. So since I'm working on the black clay here, like I said, I like to start with lighter color because then it really picks up the other colors. So let's go and start. Let me get a clean brush here. Let's start with white. Oh, this brush is, oh, here we go. It's brand new. And so I'm just going to give it a base of the white, like I did on that other project we did a week or two ago. And so this is just the butterflies. Just to show you how pretty it looks. And you don't have to do this. You don't have to give it the base of color. You can just put, I mean, the base of a lighter color. You could go ahead and just put the pan pastels or an ink on it, and you know, you would just get that color. But this just, to me, it helps set the scene for the color, and so that it can be more vibrant. That's, I guess, what I'm trying to say. You know, if you have this base color on black, and the reason why I'm doing it on the black is because I think it pops really well on the black. So, you know, you don't have to do it on black. You could certainly do it on any color you want. I just like the way it looks on black. It's just my particular taste. And everybody has different tastes, so, you know, do what you like. But I just want to show you how pretty these look. And that's, I used the white first, and this color is called magenta. Let's give it a little highlights. This color, orange shade. And I'm just kind of randomly kind of adding the color. I'm not looking for an overall color. I'm looking for kind of just a nice wash of color. And there's that. That looks really pretty. Let me just add a little tiny bit of red to this one. And then I'll reveal. I like that red, gives it a fiery look. And there you have that. So simple, not much to do. And now I could do this again, like I said, with an ink. I could do it, you know, with powdered pigments. It just depends on the look you're going for. So let me just peel this up so you can see how pretty it is. Look at how pretty. And that's the butterfly. Let me cut this away. Woo! I messed it up. But you can still see what I'm talking about. So that's the butterfly. And on black clay with some of the pan pastels. And you could then go ahead and decorate the butterflies. You can add some crystals. You can add some texture. Sky is the limit. It's up to you. Speaking of texture, okay, let's go there. Let me just clean this. In between working, you might want to take a little spray and clean up so you don't get all the colors all over your work, all over your other work. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, so let's do another piece here, and let's do the leaves. Now, say I wanted some texture on these leaves, or, you know, like in the inside. Actually, let me show you on a bigger piece, like something like this. That's a really cool design as it is, but if I wanted to add a little texture, I could certainly use a stamp to add some texture. So let's do that. Let's see how, so I can show you how that looks. So I'm going to stamp down first, and just any rubber stamp will work. Okay, pull that off. Now I've got a little bit of texture there. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my Punchinella over the texture. So let's do this. Like so. Now, at this point, I wouldn't really roll it on there because then you can risk, you know, losing your texture. But you can do it lightly. You know, do a light pass over there. So let's do some color. I'm not going to go with, you know, the white this time. Let me do a little yellow on here. And just show you what that'll look like as the base, because like I said, I like to start with a lighter color so that it really gets a nice vibrant, and I am saturating it with the yellow because it is my base color. But the reason why I rolled over it lightly is because you want to make sure that when you're adding any of your pigments or ink that it doesn't leak under it. So if you've ever used a stencil before, you know, you don't want it leaking out and going on the other parts. So that's why I rolled over it gently with the rod. Okay, so there's that. Let's add some other color. This is a pretty color called Red Iron Oxide shade. Maybe you want to go a little around the edges here to kind of antique-y look it, you know, give it that antique kind of feel. Just want to give you an idea of how many possibilities there is with this. And that's the thing, that's, you know, you just have to play. Okay, here's another thing. I could come back at this point and I could then use my crackle medium and paint that in here as well. So that's what I'm saying. You can add layers, you can change it up, you can do whatever you want for whatever look you're going for. So I highly encourage you to experiment and try things and see what you like. So here's this. And it's a little harder to differentiate. Let me see. Because it was the dark color. And I did have it have the texture, but you can see it gives a really unique look. So with the stamp, you get a completely different look to it. You know, you may not want something that's so many different designs. You may want to go with something that's like one overall pattern to see it better. Like I said, it depends on the project you're going for, but you can get totally different looks that way. So let's try one more, and I want you to see what this one looks like. This one's a really cool one. And then I will leave you to play. So let's go with this one. Did I already do that one? No, I didn't do this one. Okay, so I'm going to roll over it. And let's do some ink this time. So let's see. Here's a nice copper ink I've got, which should be pretty. And let's do a little blue too. So I'm just using, this is the Dewdrop Brilliance ink, and it's a pigment ink. So it has to be heat set, which is perfect for the clay. And I'm just tapping this on, trying to impart the color onto the clay. And I do it until I feel like I like it. And then I'm going to come back and add a little blue. I like the blue. This one's a little, this pad's a little drier, but you can, it's still coming off. Okay. So, alright, so now I told you about the stamping. Okay, what if you wanted to just texture it? And add a little oomph while it's in there. You could use your knitting needle to kind of go around it. And if you wanted to add a little texture this way. So that's what I'm saying. Just use your imagination and play around, because you never know what you're going to come up with that you absolutely fall in love with. That's what I do. I'm all about experimenting and trying things. And you know what? If you don't like it, then you bunch up the clay and you do something else with it. There's no loss. So let me pull this up so you can see that. And here you have that one. That's the ink. So you can get so many different looks with one stencil. You can use cookie cutters. Let's you know, I know this is not exactly the best design for this, but just so you can see how you can change it up a lot too. I didn't cut it all the way, but you'll get the gist. And so just what I did with that fan thing, with the fan flower design, look at what I can change it into just by cutting it out with the cookie cutter. And I've got a totally, completely different look. So that's what I just wanted to show you, so that you can think about experimenting and trying different things for completely different looks. And these are all on the black clay. You know, imagine all the different possibilities with all the other clay. I mean, really, the sky is the limit. So just play around with it, have fun, and I'd love to see what you made. And you can join over at craftylink.ning.com and upload photos. And that's where the Polymer Clay Adventure Retreat is going to be going on. This virtual retreat that we've been telling you about for months now is about to start on January 1st. And we're super, super excited about it, and we hope you'll join us. There's still time to join. In fact, you can join here all year long, but if you join before January 1st, you're not going to miss anything. So you can do that at craftylink.ning.com as well. So have fun. enjoy working with Punchinella and the stamps, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for joining us.